1, 2, 3.
Need heights. I don't know. Good evening. The April 19th Board of Education meeting is now in session. Please rise for the invocation. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance, stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. The pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2.03 is approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All those in favor? The minutes are approved. Item 2.04, establish agenda order. I actually have two changes to the agenda. The first is to remove item 4.05, site work for Jessup Elementary School replacement. That's not ready to be awarded tonight. And I would also like to take item 6.01, the signature program update, out of order and hear it immediately following the consent items so our students can leave, our student presenters can leave. Item 2.05 are recognitions. And we have Ms. Carol Ann McCurdy.
Good evening. I'm Carol Ann McCurdy, Director of the Office of Partnerships Development and Marketing, and I have the pleasure of introducing this evening's board recognition. Before I begin, I'd like to invite the board and Dr. Arlotto to come to the front. Members of the board and Dr. Arlotto, this evening we are excited to recognize a true collaborative effort to address one of our school system's priorities, early literacy. As Dr. Arlotto said in his address to the board in December, we have to give our children, every one of them, hope. We have to help them not just understand, but believe. Believe in themselves, believe in each other, believe in the adults around them, and believe that their potential has no boundaries. Providing our future students with that hope starts at birth. The Baby Learns to Read project is a small but significant step toward helping our youngest learners believe in themselves and their limitless potential. Studies show that the most important thing we can do to help our children succeed in school is to prepare them to read before they start school. As a child's first and best teacher, a parent can help a child learn to comprehend and value books and stories. In 2012, and again the following year, Anne Arundel County Public Schools and some of our community partners provided early literacy bags to our two county hospitals to distribute to new parents in the hopes of developing a lifelong love of reading for their newborns. This effort, by the way, was led by Mary Talar, my colleague in Advanced Studies and Programs. 4 years ago, the 21st Century Education Foundation and the Anne Arundel County Public Library Foundation embarked on this project again and invested their time and money to provide updated Baby Learns to Read bags to parents with materials that are developmentally appropriate and reinforce early literacy efforts. Parents have also received a registration form for an Anne Arundel County Public Library card, reading resources in English and Spanish, and information about the importance of play in a child's life. None of this would be possible, of course, without the efforts of all of our donors and partners. Tonight, we'd like to recognize the following for their contributions to this project. Betsy Snow, Senior Director of Women's and Children's Services, Anne Arundel Medical Center. Skip Ald, Chief Executive Officer, Anne Arundel County Public Library. Kendra Ellison, Women's Services Nurse Manager, Baltimore Washington Medical Center. Dr. Pablo Argelis, Women's Service Department Chair, Baltimore Washington Medical Center. Because of their partnership and contributions, 1,000 bags stuffed by our students in Glen Burnie High School's Public Service Signature and Biomedical Allied Health Magnet programs, by the way, are now to be given to newborns. I'd also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the staff that was here this evening to support our partners who are getting recognized. As our partners come forward, please join me in thanking them for helping getting our county's youngest citizens and our future students off to the right start.
Item 2.06, school and community highlights. Mrs. Hummer?
I had the pleasure before spring break to go to Brockbridge Elementary for Career Day, and as I was leaving, Batman walked in, and so I was very glad that I went before Batman, because I would have been such a letdown for all the 4th and 5th graders when Batman walked in. He was a Park Service ranger in the full Batman costume. It was pretty awesome. And I also attended Meade High School's musical All Shook Up, which is all Elvis songs. So if you ever have the chance to see that, all of you who love Elvis, it was great. And Meade High School will be holding their community block party this Sunday from 12 to 4. So if you're in the neighborhood, go by Meade High School this Sunday.
Mr. Gilliland?
Thank you, Madam President. On Saturday, April 8th, a group that I'm part of called Faith into Action had a community resource day in North County. Faith into Action started last summer to bridge the gap between mobile food distribution and the first day of school so that students needing food could be fed. We then hosted a community resource day in November at Park Elementary and Hilltop Elementary, and last week's event was at Lindale Middle School and also included support from the Anne Arundel County Health Department. We had approximately 125 families cycle through, along with special visits from County Executive Steve Shue, Councilman Pete Smith, and Councilman John Grasso. I want to thank the principal at Lindale Middle, John Nash, as well as Assistant Principal Elena Thomas for hosting us, as well as STEM teacher Rick Hall, who was there to support us as well. And then certainly, we can't do these events without volunteers, and I really want to extend a very special thank you to North County High School's National Honor Society, their advisor, Jennifer Mermod, for their support. We would not have been able to do this without them, so thank you.
And I'd just like to add that just before spring break, I had the opportunity to go to Annapolis High School to speak to their student body. They were having a kindness challenge week, and got to share a little bit about a program that I had been a part of and I've also sort of seen on television. If you have Netflix, I encourage you to watch the Kindness Diaries and get a gist of how to get a little more kindness in our life. It was a nice kickoff to spring break. Item 2.07 is the CRASC report.
Good evening, President Korbelak, Dr. Arlotto, and other members of the board. My name is Christina Dyson, and I am the Secretary of Education for the Chesapeake Regional Association of Student Councils. On Wednesday, April 5th, I had the honor of moderating the first official student member on the board debate for the 3 finalists for the position. The event allowed the candidates to more fully express their positions on various topics related to the school system and the role of a SMOB, and, attended by many student and community members, was a great success. The elections for student member on the board will take place tomorrow, April 20th, at Arundel High School. Once SMOB elections have concluded, the next major event for CRASC will be the CRASC officer elections, a very important process in selecting next year's leaders for our organization. All interested students are strongly encouraged to apply to run for a position and to attend our executive staff meetings or contact the CRASC advisor for more information. That is all for tonight. Thank you for allowing me to represent the students of Anne Arundel County.
Thank you. Item 2.08 is the PIAC report.
Good evening, Dr. Arlotto, President Korbelak, and members of the board. For the record, my name is Carrie Petz, and I am the chair of Superintendent's Parent Involvement Advisory Council. It has been a pleasure to be a member of PIAC for the past 2 years and PTA Vice President at Arnold Elementary and Severn River Middle School. I appreciate this opportunity to introduce myself and bring you an update of PIAC activities for this school year. At our September meeting, Jessica Kutchis, Legislative and Policy Counsel, and Jason Dykstra, Executive Director of the Instructional Data Division, gave a presentation on the Val-Sal cum laude system, which is very informative and gave us a deeper understanding as the board debates took place. At our November meeting, Lucia Martin, Coordinator of School Counseling, presented on mental health resources for AACPS students. This presentation was given at our group's request after gathering that many of our members felt this was a top priority in their clusters. In January, we had the opportunity to tour Cat North and see what amazing opportunities are being offered to our students. In February, Matt Stansky, Director of Financial Operations, gave a presentation on the proposed budget for next school year. In April, we heard from Bob Mosier and Monique Monk from the Communications Office, who shared all the communication methods and updates the school system has utilized. We would like to thank all our presenters who have taken time to give our group insight into the inner workings of our school system. This year, we have a record number of PIAC members who represent every cluster in the county. Our members are liaisons in the cluster who have made connections with PTAs, PTOs, principals, and other stakeholders. Concerns and questions for each cluster or amazing parent involvement activities and initiatives at their schools are shared at each of our meetings. Time doesn't permit me to share all the wonderful, innovative programs we hear about, but I do want to mention a few. The Judy Centers at Hilltop have been hosting a free family event every December for families to build gingerbread houses together. Parents and staff at George Cromwell Elementary created Veterans Wall in their main lobby to showcase the large number of military members in their community. Arnold Elementary held its second annual International Night, which showcased belly and Irish dancers as well as culture and food from over 16 countries. These three examples only scratch the surface of the wonderful ways that our schools are reaching out to engage families in all of our communities. It is through opportunities of sharing in PIAC that help with collaboration and exposure to the bounties our county have to offer. One last example is that due to my recent visit to Cat North, when I saw a flyer in one of our 100 emails we get, I took notice and actually signed my son up for the summer camp at Cat North. We shared this with a bunch of his friends who have never heard of Cat North or the program, being only 6th graders at the time. They are now 5 kids all signed up for diesel engine repair and carpentry. Had this not been for PIAC, those relationships would not have been exposed to. So thank you for this opportunity to share PIAC's activities with you, and we look forward to continued collaboration and your support as always. Thank you.
Thank you for serving, Carrie. We'll move on to the public comment portion of the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak on an item not on today's agenda may offer testimony during this public comment portion. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes each, and the board asks that comments remain civil and appropriate for the various audiences that may be watching or viewing the meeting. Student-specific and personnel matters are confidential and cannot be discussed in this forum. This time is intended for speakers to voice their opinion and not necessarily as a question and answer period. Speakers may pose questions, but answers will be counted toward the 3-minute allotment. For the record, please give your name before speaking, and handouts should be given to the board assistant. I have 8 completed cards right now, and I'll call the first 4. Robert Silkworth, Susan Gallagher, Tia Hyatt, and Nicole Mead.
Good evening, President Corbett, Vice President Hummer, distinguished Board of Ed members, former student, Superintendent Dr. Arlotta, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Soquith, and I am here this evening as the chairperson of the High School Concerns Committee to provide our monthly report. We did meet, in fact, this afternoon for our April meeting, and we did discuss quite a few things, including the following: quarterly assessments, the schedule, as well as the actual testing for the third quarter. We talked about the AC testing and upcoming park testing. AC testing did take place today, and I'm actually very pleased to be able to report that at North County High School, I believe we tested 429 students out of about 480-some students. Excellent numbers for us, and everything went very well. And I have some reports from some other schools that the percentages were even better than that. We also discussed some SLO concerns in some of our schools. Our main focus, of course, this afternoon was the issue of testing. And we were able to come up with some good ideas and recommendations that we will be able to share tomorrow, because we have our ASI advisory group meeting with Dr. Kubik and Dr. McMahon. We are also gearing up to meet with the county council members to encourage them to support and fully fund this budget. Rest assured that we will be at both of the upcoming budget hearings to testify in favor of this budget for our students. Our next meeting will be either May the 10th or the 17th. We're not quite sure yet, but we will let you know. I always end with some kudos, and I have two this evening. The first would be to our North County Drama Department, because tomorrow, I believe, their first performance of The Little Mermaid will take place at North County High School, and they'll have another performance on Friday and also next week. I've seen some previews. It is absolutely wonderful. And I'd also like to extend a congratulations to Miss Rachel Bradford, who is the testing coordinator at North County High School, and her counterparts across the county for the great work that they do in organizing not only the AC test today, but all of the other testing that takes place. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Arlotto, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Susan Gallagher, and I have had the absolute privilege of serving as the principal of Mead Heights for the last 8 years. I appreciate the opportunity to share my very grave concerns with you regarding the changes made to arrival and dismissal times for the 2017-2018 school year. Our current school hours are 9:25 to 3:50. Next year, we are scheduled to begin school at 9:40 and end at 4:05. Please know that I understand the role that transportation plays in this change, and I understand that there are not extra buses hanging out waiting to pick up children. However, I am asking, in fact begging, that the Division of Transportation investigate the possibility of trading hours with another school. I make this request because I firmly believe that the later school time has a greater negative impact on the students at Mead Heights than it would on students at other schools. Mead Heights is unique for the following reasons. We service the military daycare next door to our building. Many of my students begin their day at 6 a.m. in order for their parents to attend PT. That means our students are in daycare for 3 hours and 40 minutes before entering the building. Second, Mead Heights is a Title I school. As part of that program, we run an extended day twice a week. Third, Mead Heights has been the lucky recipient of a DoD grant that supports a STEM pipeline directly to Mead High School. This grant funds after-school programs an additional 1 or 2 days a week, depending on the season. Fourth, our attendance zone includes Sarah's House, a homeless shelter run by Catholic Charities. All of the students living at Sarah's House are invited to participate in our after-school programs, as private enrichment programs are usually financially prohibitive for these students. Mead Heights is indeed a unique school. As the principal, my greatest responsibility must be the safety of my students. Yes, Dr. Kubik? 4 days a week during the fall and winter months next year, we will put our extended day students and our club students on a school bus at 5:50 p.m. The students will arrive at neighborhood bus stops between 6 and 6:45. Neighborhood bus stops are centrally located and students are not dropped off in front of their homes. 5 to 10-year-old boys and girls must walk in the dark neighborhoods with a history of violence. I fear for the safety of my students during these times. An earlier start time would allow my students to get home safely before dark, while a later start time for schools without extended day programs would not present the same safety concern. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. My name is Tia Hyatt. I am here as a parent from Mead Heights Elementary School. I have 2 students that attend, and I'm here to speak about the programs and how the late time will affect our students. One concern is regarding our teachers, and with the programs ending around 6 o'clock, it may limit our teachers' availability due to other family obligations. Another concern, we have students who are involved in recreational activities outside of school. With the late start time, those students will be forced to make a decision between attending after-school programs or their sports and dance programs. The students should not have to choose, as we aim to have well-rounded students, and that they will only be able to accomplish that by attending both programs. We also have students who are unable to attend recreational activities outside of school. The only activities that they are able to attend are through Mead Heights programs, and without these programs, those students, they won't be able to do anything. So, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Mead. I'm a parent at Mead Heights Elementary, and my daughter also goes to the military daycare that is near the base. And as a military family, former military myself, the unique needs of the military and the children of the military they're just different. They really are. With the environments that they have, with parents going on deployments, the support of the school is extremely necessary. And by having to be at the daycare at 6 o'clock in the morning because of that PT, and if they're involved in an aftercare program, they're away from home they will be away from home for almost 12 hours of their day. And these children, they need the love and support of their community, but being away from home for that long just to participate in activities, it's not good for the students. They need an earlier start time. And if it is possible to switch with another school that has the same amount of buses, even if it's just temporary, it would give our students the same opportunities as others by having that earlier start time and not putting them at a disadvantage of the darkness and the safety concerns of being let out so late after our programs and after school. So we hope that you'll consider our request for the needs of our students and our faculty as well.
Thank you. I have 4 more cards. Sharon Gillespie, Jessica Price, Amanda Biea, and Ty Steidel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to our concerns. My name is Sharon Gillespie, and I'm a pre-kindergarten teacher at Mead Heights Elementary. You've heard all the wonderful ways that Mead Heights is unique. Our early childhood program is one other way that we are unique. Because of our Title I status, we offer a full-day pre-kindergarten program. This is a wonderful opportunity for our students to have plenty of time to gain play skills and early academic skills, but it's still a very, 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 very long day for those kids. They enter my classroom. Some of them are not yet 4 years old when they enter my classroom in the fall. Many of them have had nap times all along, and it's a long day for those young learners. We all know from research, from parent reports, and raising our own children that young children wake up very early naturally. My 5:45 wake-up call from my son on Saturday mornings, used to upset me every weekend. But when our students hit the door, most of them have been awake for several hours before they enter our classrooms. What happens at the middle of the day is at 1 o'clock, they're done. They have been playing and learning, and at 1 o'clock, they're ready for a break, and we're just getting started. At 2 o'clock, we are pretty much done teaching academic material because they can no longer absorb and retain letters and counting. We turn it then to the play and developmental skills, and then it's hard for them to get along with their peers because they're so tired. The behaviors increase, the off-task increase, and it makes it a very hard learning environment for those little kids. If the school time moves later, we'll lose even more learning time for our students. We provide a pre-K for our students that are at risk. These kids are coming from the neediest neighborhoods around our school, and they need an opportunity to get ready for kindergarten. I often have kids that don't know their colors when they hit my door. I have a lot of makeup to do. And when they're getting there 3 hours after they've already been awake, it's an uphill battle. The start times are more pivotal for us at full day programs again, because in a half day program, they have time they can nap in the afternoon, they have time they can take breaks in the morning, and they don't have to be as in tune all day long. So those start times are more pivotal because when they get out at 4 o'clock, our parents often report they're falling asleep in the car at 4:30. So then they don't want to go to sleep at 8 o'clock, and it starts a vicious cycle. Our kids are tireder when they get there the next day, and then they're crankier and less ready to learn. So please, I'm asking you to give our young students an earlier start time that would allow them to receive instruction at a time when their brains are alert and ready to learn. This would help children retain more information and get them ready for kindergarten. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Price, and I'm the Title I Reading Specialist at Mead Heights Elementary, and I'm here this evening to speak on behalf of our staff and students in regards to our current start time, as well as the even later start time for the next school year. As a Title I school, we serve the neediest students in our county and receive additional funding to provide academic support for the struggling learners. We are required to hold an extended day or an additional academic program every year. Mead Heights is currently a late school, and as a result, we already face many challenges in regards to running an after-school program. Our extended day program currently ends at 5:30 in the evening, and next year that would most likely need to be pushed to 5:45. Many of our students are exhausted and worn out from the day, which for many started hours before our already start time of 9:25, which will soon be 9:45. As the programs continue throughout the year, it is very common for our attendance to decrease as we compete with other evening events, and students want to attend or need to attend. And unfortunately, some students just don't want to come anymore. By the time they get home, they're no longer able to play with friends or even have time to relax, since dinner is right around the corner and homework as well. In fact, just this year alone, our attendance of our extended day program constantly decreased to where almost a half the number of students who started by the end. An additional concern that we already face is that during our winter, students are leaving extended day and currently getting on school buses when it's already dark outside. I find this very concerning that many of our 2nd to 5th graders will be getting off at bus stops and walking home in the dark alone. To make matters worse, these students who take the bus home are not even getting off at their regular bus stops. Our extended day buses take different routes compared to their daily bus routes, and many students are dropped off 1 to 2 streets over from their normal stops. It's my fear that next year the number of days that our extended day buses will be leaving in the dark will be increasing. Another problem that we face with such a late extended day is just the issue of staffing our programs. Teachers have family commitments and that do not provide them the ability to support this program. Many and most daycare facilities close at 6, and our teachers are not able to pick up their own children on time. In the past, we've had to reach out to other elementary schools with earlier school hours to help teach our after-school program in order to get enough teachers to fill the positions. While we appreciate their support, it's our teachers and staff that really know our children best. I understand that this is just not an easy fix, and however, we're asking you just to really look at the bus schedule and consider possibilities of giving our students an earlier start time. We have a few number of non-Title I schools in our area that have an earlier start time, and they've had that time for some time now. Starting earlier will have a positive impact not only on our students who attend extended day for academic support, but for our entire school population. Thank you for your time.
My name is Amanda B.A. I am a third grade teacher, and I've had the privilege of working at Mead Heights for the last 5 years, and 4 of those I've been doing the STEM programs after school. As you heard Susan speak about how we have the privilege of having all these wonderful STEM programs that our kids just eat up. It really gives our students a lot of possibilities to have futures in different areas. So kind of coming at it as the angle of, you know, I've been committed to being able to be a part of those groups for so long, but as a mom as well, it is very difficult for me to now, if this time gets extended, then I might have to step away from something that I enjoy, being able to really teach my students about some of those STEM areas, because I just won't be able to go and pick up my child and do the things that I need to do. And I hate to have to pick between my job and my family. They're both very important to me. And I know that that's a problem across the board, but if you could just consider that. I know our staff is very committed to those things. We are a smaller staff, so even when, even if this is an option, there's going to be fewer and fewer teachers that will be able to step up and be able to take that. So thank you so much for listening.
Hi, good evening to the board. My name is Ty Steidel. I am not from Mead Heights, so I am outnumbered by a lot. I am the vice president of the HOA for Coldwater Reserve Crossing in a neighborhood in Severn. We have a bus stop that the bus stops on Burns Crossing Road, which intersects with Coldwater Reserve Crossing, which enters the neighborhood. I represent phase 1. There's also a phase 2 that shares the same entrance, and it's over 100 homes for this neighborhood. In the mornings, the traffic along the main road is stopped and congested when the students are loading and unloading. We've also had additional neighborhood built up the road with another planned neighborhood less than 1/10 of a mile away of, I believe, 30 or 35 homes across the street. What's happening is parents are pulling up, ensuring that specifically the elementary students are getting on the bus, and we have no less than 12 to 15 cars creating a 1-lane road for the entrance to both neighborhoods. What's happening is the congestion with these cars, along with the kids and along with the parents, and then the commuter traffic is really slowing down and causing some dangerous situations. In the past month, we've had a close call with a student almost getting hit by a person coming in because they couldn't see around the corner because of the cars parked, and we've had 2 altercations between neighbors regarding parking. Now, why are these altercations taking place is because we've had the county erect no parking signs, but folks have figured out a way to get around that or simply just pull up in front of them with no disregard, with no regard for safety. We've tried to create some standoff for view, but it's just not working. This is the only stop on this bus route because there's so many kids. I believe there's in excess of 35 kids that get on the bus. So it goes straight from one stop straight to Ridgeway, which is, I think, 2 or 3 blocks away. I've gone ahead and I've got a schematic of our neighborhood, and I guess what I'm asking is for the transportation department to take a look at and maybe reviewing the possibility of having the bus pull into the neighborhood at one or two spots where the children could be picked up away from the main area, and which also creates easier lanes of travel for people to move throughout the neighborhood. It's no turns for the bus to do this, and I believe our streets are now county owned. Since the neighborhood is about 3 years old, the streets have been turned over to the county, and I think that was an issue at the beginning of the buses not coming in because of construction, but they have been turned over to the county. That's all I have, and I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. You can get the schematic over to them and we'll take care of it. Thank you. I do have one more card, Gabrielle Yanovitz.
Good evening. My name is Gabrielle Yanovitz. I'm in 7th grade at Brooklyn Park Middle School. I'm in the PVA program for creative writing and drama, and I've recently had a bat mitzvah on April 8th, and with my bat mitzvah I had to complete a mitzvah project, community service project, and I decided to do raise money for music education in Anne Arundel County, and I have always had a love for music. I play music, I play bass guitar, and I sing, and I did bake sales. I did 2 bake sales at my Sunday school and some fundraisers at restaurants. And with that being said, I'd like to make a donation of $640 to Anne Arundel County Public Schools for music education. Thank you.
Has a wonderful family, and she's grown into a lovely young lady, and I was so proud of her for doing this, and just thrilled to have her here.
I want to introduce myself to you and tell you that this is amazing. I sing as well in school, and I've been singing in school since I was in middle school, so arts integration, music integration in schools means so much to me, and it's so amazing that you've done this at such a young age. So thank you so much. Have a hug. It's amazing.
And congratulations on your bat mitzvah too, Gabrielle. I don't have any more cards. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board at this time? All right, we will move on to consent items. These are award of contracts, and it's an information to action item. Do I have a motion to bundle 4.01 through 4.12 and move them from information to action? All those in favor? We now have an action item. Dr. Arlato, your recommendation.
Yes, ma'am. I recommend Board of Education award contracts as listed on today's agenda 4.01 through 4.04 and 4.06 through 4.12 inclusive.
So moved.
Mrs. Hummer.
I just have a quick question. What is casework?
For the record, Alex Shackno, Chief Operating Officer. That's essentially cabinetry, built-in furnishings in classrooms and science rooms. Includes built-in teacher workstations.
Okay.
So things like, what's next to me here.
And I had a question on one of the list of pending development. I can't find it now. But there was one that had quite a number of units going in, but very few students. I was just curious if that was a 55-plus community at all, or is it contract? Or maybe that's later in the... Oh, later. I'll ask the question later.
6.02 later.
Wrong pile. Is there any public comment on any of these items? All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. We'll move on to action items. Item 5.01, administrative personnel appointments. Oh, that's right. We're moving on to 601, signature program update.
Here, we've brought quite a crew. Good evening, Mrs. Korbelak, Dr. Arlotto, and board members. My name is Rich Berger, teacher specialist for Anne Arundel County Public Schools Signature Program. As you just saw on the slideshow, Signature is alive in Anne Arundel County. It is an honor to be here this evening to provide you with a Signature update while celebrating the impact Signature has had and continues to have in all 12 of our high schools. With us tonight are a Signature business partner, a Signature program facilitator, a principal with an incredible Signature program in her school, but most importantly, we have 4 students who will share their Signature experiences with you, and other students who will silently represent their experiences in the audience. Recognizing the role local business and community leaders can play when they partner with educators drove the original design of Signature and the opening of the first Signature program at Meade High School in 2008. Signatures, as led by the integrated community stakeholders teams, provide workforce relevance and meaning to teaching and learning. Signature experiences ensure engaging and challenging opportunities for students both within and outside of classroom walls. In fact, several of our ICST leaders are with us this evening as evidence of their commitment to our students. Please assist me in recognizing them at this time. Could you stand, please, ICSTers? As a reminder, each Signature has a 21st century theme around which curricula, job shadowing, mentoring, co-curricular clubs, college courses, and internships are crafted. With a unique theme at each county high school, selected by each high school's community stakeholders, all 12 programs provide learning excitement and involvement while preparing students for college and careers. To continue our story, Mr. Mike Fennessy will provide key perspectives as a business partner and ICST member.
Good evening. As Mr. Berger stated, my name is Mike Fennessy, and I'm not only the Director of Office of Corporate and Community Relations at BWI Marshall Airport, I'm also a proud ICST member who is committed to the system-wide Signature implementation. Signature's ICTSs are staffed and led by dedicated business partners that are focused on the success of Signature programs at all county schools, and ultimately the success of our students. The business partners, with their collective relevant expertise, guide the development of a strategic plan for the Signature programs and participate in the implementation of those plans by providing input into curriculum, identifying, bringing in guest speakers, helping to set up Signature-related field trips, and participating in school-sponsored events. The business partners bring instructional relevance, which supports the development of soft skills, which is critical in today's employment marketplace. The ICST members participate in mock interviews, network events, and financial literacy days, just to name a few. The ICST members get great satisfaction for their contribution, and sometimes we even have a lot of fun doing it. Next, you will hear from Joanne Brock, Signature Program Facilitator from Severna Park High School. Ms. Brock will share with you the role Signature has on the amazing teaching and learning.
Thank you, Mike.
Good evening. As Mr. Fennessy shared, my name is Joanne Brock, and I'm the Signature Program Facilitator at Severna Park High School. Our signature is Business, Innovation, and Leadership. I am honored to be here this evening with this distinguished signature panel. A signature is a connector. Specifically, it helps bridge gaps in learning while also giving the student the answer to why the knowledge is important. With our strong and supportive leader, Principal Bathurst, Signature has become a school-wide endeavor that impacts all. Our focus at Severna Park High School has not only been on student development, but teacher development as well. A strong, embedded Signature program provides support to our teachers with resources to instill 21st century workforce skills to impart to their students. This leads to improved student achievement, outlook, and opportunity. Over the past 6 years, teachers and staff at Severna Park High School have participated in whole school overlay writing sessions with business partners to infuse their curriculum with real-world examples and applications. They have also participated in field trips specifically designed for teachers, such as the Foundry Makerspace, AOL Advertising, World Priority Logistics, that enhance their skills for student preparedness and for market entry and job acquisition. With the integration of ongoing school-wide professional development, innovation now leads teaching, and this result has been amazing. Current data on our walkthrough documents shows that the staff is making and utilizing signature prompts. Additionally, signature courses are expanding as enrollments for these electives have increased annually, and internal and external student-led business ventures have been ignited. Student voice through our student survey data shows that because of signature influences throughout the school, students are linking what they are learning to why they are learning and where it will take them in the future. Student engagement and teacher value is evident. Go Falcons, go Signature. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Kayla Acker-Carter, a senior at Annapolis High School.
Good evening. My name is Kayla Acker-Carter, 12th grader and future environmental engineer. I have been involved in the Change Engineering Signature program at Annapolis High School for the last 4 years. The program has provided me career exploration opportunities, including an internship with Northrop Grumman through its High School Involvement Partnership Program. The Signature program has also connected me with caring mentors which have been instrumental in my success. The Signature program's infusion of college and career-ready skills will help me reach my dreams, goals, and ambitions. Additionally, it has spearheaded community action in my role as a change agent and local work through the Watershed Club and Interact. Next, you will hear from John Mariano, a senior at Meade High School.
Good evening. My name is John Mariano, and I am a proud senior of the Homeland Security Signature family at Meade Senior High School. Before I begin, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation toward our Signature Homeland Security program for their support and the opportunities they have granted me that I would otherwise not have had without this organization. I began the program my sophomore year after a transfer from a Christian private school, hoping to expand on the quality of learning that my previous school may not have offered me, as well as to obtain exposure to the numerous career fields in Homeland Security. I began shaping my career in cybersecurity and information technology during my wonderful experience with the program, and it is there that I saw that the quality of the Signature at Meade Senior High was exemplified by supporting business community of national intelligence, predominantly the NSA, contractor companies, and the ever-growing expanse of a new technological frontier. Concepts of emergency management, the strategies of gathering, processing, and using intelligence, and the analysis of motives that drive ideologies and peoples to act upon an event are few of the many structures and cores that we learn and apply here at our Signature. My teachers and the staff supporting this program propelled me to these numerous opportunities and pathways to success by their ability to link these strategies and concepts of our Homeland Security Department to political events that now shape our reality. These teachers and business partners have given me a personal dedication to lifelong learning. Through the Signature Homeland Security program at Meade, I have realized that the continuation of my education past high school graduation is essential to my understanding of the past and to world-changing events in the present as we step further into the expanse of technological advances necessary to keep our nation safe and secure. Our next speaker will be Zach Brown, a sophomore from South River High.
Good evening. My name is Zach Brown,
and I'm a sophomore at South River High School. Sorry. Go Seahawks. When I entered this school year and I was signing up for classes, I saw one listed under the signature class, Global Communications and Public Affairs. I had no idea the opportunities this class would soon provide me with. Soon into the class, we were introduced the idea of a long-term research and action project known as the Diamond Challenge. Me and two classmates, Ian Murphy and Owen Abbey, decided we were going to do a social venture project because we all wanted to make a difference. We did our project off CCMs. CCM stands for Cerebral Cavernous Malformation. We chose this topic because when I was 10 years old, I was rushed to the ER with severe concussion-like symptoms. These symptoms would soon get much worse as I would experience physical paralysis in the right side of my face, lose the ability to hear, the ability to see, and the ability to talk. I would spend 3 weeks in the intensive care unit, some time in a regular hospital room, and then I would be transported to the National Rehabilitation Hospital because even though I had the most experienced and smartest doctors working with me in the entire nation, that was all they could offer me. I am very blessed to be here telling this story to you. I am extremely thankful for the opportunities my illness has given me and the opportunities I have been given through Signature Program. Through our project, we have developed both a website and multiple social media outlet pages to inform people about CCMs. My Diamond Challenge project and the Signature Program both means to me hope for a future where students can get involved and make a difference in the world. I am very pleased with how our project was able to reach both local and international research awareness. My goal is to help men and women never go through anything I went through. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to talk to you today. Our next speaker is Kristen Towers, an AACPS student and a college graduate from Anne Arundel Community.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Towers, and I am here for some extra credit for my business class. I'm also a distinguished graduate from North County High. Graduating last year, I not only earned my high school diploma, but also walked across the stage at Anne Arundel Community College, where I earned a workforce certificate in transportation, logistics, and cargo security. The most amazing changes in my life happened because of North County's signature program, IT3. In fact, it completely changed my career path. Although I was a member of IT3 all 4 years of high school, it took community college classes at North County about supply chain management to direct my future. I began to realize that the transportation and logistics industry is one that I wanted to be in for the rest of my life. Specifically, the supply chain management classes showed me that there is a workforce I can spend my entire day doing something productive that I enjoy. Along with hard work and the help of the amazing faculty of North County High School and Anne Arundel Community College, I have been invited to speak at many presentations just like this. In addition to the workforce certificate, I completed an internship in the field. I now have the ability to graduate an entire semester early for my associate's degree in business management, as well as a second certificate in supply chain management. Signature has truly prepared me for college and my future career. I wouldn't want it any other way. And in fact, I wouldn't be the confident young woman that I am today without the program. Ms. Davenport, an inspiring school leader, will now show us how Signature has been a lever at her school.
I think it was W.C. Fields that said you should never go on stage after children or pets. He must have known the students of Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Hello, everyone. I am Gina Davenport, the very proud principal of Arundel High School, where our signature is community development and global citizenship. When I asked my faculty to describe the attributes of our most successful students, they discussed curiosity, perseverance, risk-taking, leadership, the ability to collaborate, and problem solving. These skills that we admire in our best students are also required for college and career readiness. So how do we grow these attributes in every student? For us at Arundel, Signature has been a lever for college and career readiness because Signature provides each of our high schools with a unique opportunity to teach these skills through authentic learning experiences. I ask you, if you wanted to learn to play golf, would you head to the golf course with a set of clubs, or would you read a book about Tiger Woods? In our high schools, Signature is doing. It gives the students the opportunity to actually realize what it is that they're learning. Signature is curiosity. Signature is perseverance. It is leadership. Signature is collaboration. It's risk-taking. It's problem-solving with real-world problems. Signature is engagement. At Arundel, Signature is a relevant, experiential learning opportunity that happens in our own communities that results in college and career readiness for all Wildcats. Thank you. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you. Take it away. I am thrilled to end tonight's presentation with a story through numbers. Knowing that we have 12 high schools with 12 incredibly themed signature programs just isn't enough. At this time, there are 403 community partners that provide context to content, interacting regularly with students. We have had this year 428 authentic experiences. It's a fancy word for field trips that motivate while awakening goal, pursuit, and passions. We have had 186 students involved in internships and capstone projects that open future doors of possibilities. Right now, we have 18 college courses going on in our high schools that not only ensure college and career readiness, but also equitable access. We have 2,742 children in signature-specific courses that empower students to be active and engaged learners. Signature is truly alive in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Thank you for this opportunity to share a signature update. We are now available to take any questions.
I don't have a question, but I just want to add that prior to having to sit on the dais every other Wednesday, I was able to be a part of the ICST, and it's a great opportunity for moms and dads and grandparents and business and community leaders who maybe got involved in PTA when their kids were little, and the kids don't want you doing PTA when you're in high school, so you can slide on over to the ICST at your local high school. Mrs. Hummer.
I just want to say it's fabulous. It's so impressive, and I don't know of any other school system that has anything like this. And when people talk about school choice, they tend to think of charter schools or something, but this is a perfect example of school choice that we offer within each of our schools that's so unique and so community involved. And I think this is just a wonderful addition and complement to our school system. So great job to everybody.
So a couple things. One, Rich, if you would do me a favor and remind the board what an ICST is.
Thank you very much.
If you could define that acronym for them, as well as how business partners become associated with ICSTs at some of the specific locations side of our 12 high schools.
Good question. Thank you. Integrated Community Stakeholders Team. Basically, the business partners that help run, direct, and certainly infuse the real world into the signature program, specifically the signature classes, but also the overlays that we infuse into content area classes. So these are the business folks, community folks that we bring into the schools to help us create the signatures. How does one get involved? One calls your local high school. One contacts your signature program facilitator. Our SPFs have become, among many other skills, expert networkers, and they are out in the community, attending meetings, getting involved with Rotaries and Chambers of Commerce and the community college, and wherever they can be found. Joanne is a fabulous example of that. She can work a room with the best of them and recruit business partners to come work with us in her school. So, you know, we go out and seek folks, and people contact us, and marvelous synergies occur.
If I could also add, thank you, that this is, as Ms. Hummer alluded to, is unique. I've had the opportunity to work in 2 other school districts in my career that have attempted and are continuing attempting to implement signature programs, and nowhere to this degree. I can speak with certainty. And it's been done through a lot of hard work, through the local coordinators, through principals that have seen the dedication, through our business partners that have lent themselves to it, to our students that have opened themselves up to it and said, I want to take this risk. And so, thank you. I was delighted to shake your hand across the stage at Community College last year. But also, if I could say to this board, remind this board and the public in general, that these incredible programs for students don't happen by chance. They happen through careful planning and implementation that started many, many, many years ago prior to my arrival here as superintendent. It was a vision of Dr. McMahon and her amazing team that have really begun to put these together, have done a phenomenal job. But there's a whole host of folks like Mr. Berger that are out there where they are not in the classroom themselves. And I know sometimes the board we talk about staffing things outside the classroom to then make things inside the classroom happen. And here is this is an absolute great opportunity to give a plug for and talk about the folks that work so hard outside the classroom to bring these opportunities into the classroom. And so it is about our classroom teachers, it is about our principals, assistant principals in our schools, but we can't make these amazing things happen without folks working outside the classroom and making these community connections. So to Maureen, to Rich, to your teams.
And Reggie and Lisa back there.
And they're here. There's 2 more here.
Signature support team.
Reggie and Lisa, would you stand and be recognized, please?
Yeah, come on.
And so I thank you for this continued work.
Thank you.
Mr. Gilliland.
Thank you again, Madam President. I feel bad speaking after Dr. Arlotto said all of that, which I, again, going on stage after you,
You didn't follow child or pet.
Oh, God. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight and presenting. It's presentations like this, it's programs like this that really motivate me to do this and really inspires me to do more. So thank you. I hope it does pay dividends for you in the future. I know it will. I do want to acknowledge Mike Fennessy and all of your counterparts. Mr. Fennessy, I've known you for a long time. And you are an example of an ordinary person doing extraordinary things and proof that heroes walk among us. So thank you for your work and your involvement in this as well. Mr. Berger, I can't let you off the hook. I was just sitting up here doing back of the envelope math. It was 26 years ago that I sat in your classroom. Mm-hmm. And again, sorry for the number, but don't stick that finger up at me, but
I'm approaching 40 years.
I have got to tell you, again, I would not be where I am, I would not have had the successes I've had if it wasn't for teachers like you who were there to guide me. So again, thank you for all that you do. It really just resonates for me that, here I am 26 years later, still remembering our interactions in that classroom and,
yes.
What you've done for me and what you've done for many others and what you're continuing to do for generations that follow, I think is long lasting. And it's just a testament of, again, ordinary people doing extraordinary things and that heroes walk among us. You are one as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
I've taken over, Rich. I'm guiding him now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all so much for the presentation.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is 5.01, Administrative Personnel Appointments. Dr. Arlotto, your recommendation, please.
Yes, ma'am. I recommend that the board approve the personnel listed on the attached sheet to be appointed and or promoted.
All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Item 5.02, Superintendent's recommendation on redistricting. Dr. Arlotto, your recommendation.
Yes, ma'am. I recommend approval of the Annapolis Peninsula Redistricting Plan as outlined in the attached exhibits.
All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Items 5.03 and 04 are policy revisions first readings. These are information items. The first policy is the suspension and dismissal of professional staff policy GBU.
Good evening. For the record, Jeanette Ortiz, Legislative and Policy Counsel. Policy GBU, suspension and dismissal of professional staff, is before you for first reading. This policy was last revised on November 7th, 1990. The updated policy provides guidance on the board's authority to suspend and dismiss professional staff. The policy will be posted on our website for 30 days for public comment, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Is there any public comment? We'll put it up for 30 days.
Yes.
And comment there. Item 5.04 is investigations and due process policy BAG, also first reading.
Policy BAG, investigations and due process, is also before you for first reading. This policy was last revised on December 6, 1989. The updated policy provides guidance on investigations and due process. The policy will be posted on our website for 30 days, and I can answer any questions.
I don't have any board questions. Do we have any public comment?
Before we move on, I think we've got some faces that the board might not be familiar with. Would you introduce yourselves, please, for the board?
Good evening, board members. For the record, Lisa Sneed, Staff Counsel in the Office of Legal Services.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Kivett. I am the Senior Manager of Employee Conduct and Performance Management in Human Resources.
Thank you. All right, so we'll put that up for 30 days.
Yes, correct.
Item 5.05 and 5.05, 6, and 7 are second readings on policies, also information items. The first one is employee use of social media policy GAOO. Did we receive any comments?
No, we did not receive any public comments on this policy.
Do we have any board questions or comments? Do we have any public comment? So this will be back in May.
Yes,
for a vote.
correct.
Item 5.06 is the second reading of the student use of social media policy JCCC.
And we also did not receive any public comments on this policy.
Okay. Do we have any public comments today? All right, we'll see that again in May.
Yes.
Item 5.07 is a second reading on the Student Assembly Programs for Political Candidates Policy IKB.
Yes, this one is also on second reading, and we did not receive any public comments.
Okay. Mrs. Hummer?
So on this one, this is a school assembly. Does that incorporate, if the PTA were to have an event at the school, invite candidates, is that separate from under this policy?
That would be a separate. That would be a separate function.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure of that. Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this item? All right, so we'll see this in May.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
And then we have two policies that are ready for action on third reading.
Yes, correct. We have policy AE, wellness.
And Dr. Arlato, your recommendation, please.
Yes, ma'am. I recommend approval of policy AE, subject to final correction for style and format.
So moved.
Are there any board questions or comments? I do have one public comment. Lisa Shore.
I just wanted to put a topic on the table, possibly part of this policy, possibly part of another discussion at some point.